For more on the ongoing 77th United Nations General Assembly, I'm joined live from New York by VOA UN correspondent Margaret Besheer. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Esther.
What we've heard this morning is a wide condemnation from leaders, including President Biden, Antonio Guterres, and African leaders as well, of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Is there a general consensus on the next course of action against Vladimir Putin?
Yes, and today the spotlight really has shifted from the General Assembly into the Security Council, where there's a high-level meeting right now going on of foreign ministers who belong to the Security Council. And there's a lot of talk in there, not great for Russia, and it must be hard for the Russians to sit there and hear it. Foreign Minister Lavrov didn't sit through the whole meeting. He only came in to make his speech. He had someone else sitting at the table throughout, which prompted the Ukrainian foreign minister to comment that the Russian diplomats flee from the Security Council the way some of their citizens flee from the draft that's going on now in Russia to mobilize 300,000 more troops to send to Ukraine. But I think what we're hearing is growing isolation of Russia and growing pressure, and that can be political pressure like sanctions. The European Union foreign ministers met here last night, and they said that they're going to look at new sanctions against Russia if they go ahead with these sham referenda that they want to do in 4 areas that they're occupying in Ukraine, and also diplomatic pressure. We heard today from Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, good friend of Moscow, calling for dialogue and diplomacy to end this war. Same from India's foreign minister. So, even Moscow's friends are very uncomfortable with the war. And actually, we heard from Ghana's foreign minister at the meeting. She was quite strong, Shirley Batshuayi, and she said that the barrel of the gun doesn't provide a way to talks. And she quoted her president, who spoke in the General Assembly on Wednesday, and he said that the cost of this war is high, not just for Ukraine and Russia, but for the world. And he said every bullet and every bomb that hits a target in Ukraine hits our pockets. And she repeated that in the council today.
Briefly, Margaret, what kind of support is President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine expecting to see coming out of this meeting?
One word for you, Esther: weapons. President Zelensky gave a speech by video yesterday in the General Assembly, and he said he wants Russia to be punished. He said Ukraine can fight this war, but they need weapons. And he said if Russia stops fighting, the war ends. If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends. So he said we need to continue fighting, for our lives, basically, for our country.
Right. Thank you so much, Margaret. VOA UN correspondent Margaret Besheer talking to us live from UN headquarters in New York.